Yesterday you talked about suffering,
Yes.
and we had to suffer to be loving and compassionate, etc. Do you think that you had to suffer during your childhood because of that? You also talked about forgiveness. Were you able to forgive your father?
Who asked that question? That is such a great question. Yeah, did I have to suffer through my childhood? I've asked you're asking me right now, and now I'm asking myself for the first time. I don't know, I just never really thought of it. I guess so. If I never had that childhood, I would have never come to know whatever I've come to know. Definitely. As you ask me that right now, I don't even resent having the childhood I had. I don't complain. And I definitely don't feel sorry for myself. I'll tell you the truth, I'm glad. I thank God I had the childhood I had, because it has taught me a lot. And I think if I hadn't had it, having the way I'm thinking I had, I would have never really probably discovered God again. But those questions that burned inside me, they've made me what I am. And honestly, at this stage in my life, I like myself again. And I found a lot of beauty through those questions. So no, I don't resent them, and I'm not angry at my father anymore, to tell you the truth. I still have pain, and I still hurt sometimes, but I needed that. And I thank God for it. And as far as my father goes, he was a complex man. He had his inner rage, but he stuck by his family. He didn't abandon them. He played a role in raising his kids. He wasn't perfect. He did believe in God very much. He had sort of just a personal belief in God. He wasn't close to any particular religious dogma or view, but he had a very deep belief in God, fear of God even. But no, I forgive my father. I hope, none of us are perfect. And I believe that, he was all, as hard as he was, as much pain as he caused, I'm not angry at my father. I'm simply not. And I certainly forgive him. Yeah, I forgive him. I hope that I don't end up, hurting people. It's taught me a lot. I hope I don't end up hurting people. But I definitely forgive him. And the damage doesn't have to be lasting. I have plenty of choices to make after that. My father didn't make me into the type of person I was. I had plenty of choices to make in my life. Yeah.
Have you learned to read Quranic Arabic yet?
I studied Arabic grammar for a couple of years. I could slowly but surely make my way through a passage. I can't just pick it up and, recite it. A lot of people could do that even though they don't understand Arabic. But when I go through the Quran and research the Quran, I get out my Arabic lexicons and dictionaries, and I go through the words one at a time and go back and study the grammar to make sure I'm not interpreting something in a wrong way. Because sometimes, if you could go back to the original language and analyze it for exactly as it said, you could uncover very deep and profound things that are easily missed in translation. And I found this happen again and again and again when I read the Quran. That the translator, even though he's very sincere and trying to do an excellent job, just changes a word here or there, or changes the tense because he feels it must mean this, even though it says this. And when I go back and study it in its original, what it originally and literally says, I discover things that you would never find from a translation. So, and I hope someday that I hope that I get stronger and stronger in my knowledge of Arabic and grammar and my research abilities, but I'm not fluent in it. I only have sort of a literary skill where I could read it and analyze it very slowly and very methodically. Sometimes it takes me a day or two to analyze a single verse, and sometimes weeks.